The Hunt for Bigfoot, a terrifying encounter in the woods. Chapter 1, The Expedition. Tommy had always been fascinated with stories of Bigfoot. Growing up, he devoured every book and article he could find on the subject. So when he heard about an expedition deep into the forest to find the creature, he knew he had to be a part of it. He joined a team of researchers, each with their own motivations for wanting to find Bigfoot. As they made their way deeper into the woods, Tommy's excitement turned to fear. What if they actually found the creature? The group set up camp for the night, with Tommy barely able to sleep as his mind raced with thoughts of what they might find. The expedition was just getting started, but already Tommy felt like they were in over their heads. Chapter 2, The Sighting. The next morning, the team set out deeper into the forest, following the trail of clues they believed would lead them to Bigfoot. As they walked, Tommy noticed that the forest was eerily quiet. It was as if all the animals knew something the humans didn't. Then, they saw it. A towering figure, covered in fur, standing at the edge of a clearing. It was Bigfoot. Tommy's heart raced as he watched the creature. The others in the group were stunned into silence. They had finally found the legend they had been searching for. But as they approached, the creature vanished into the woods. Tommy was sure that he had seen it, but the others weren't so sure. Was it all in their heads? Or had they really just come face to face with Bigfoot? The team set up camp again for the night, with Tommy's mind racing. He knew that this was just the beginning of the horrors they were going to face. Chapter 3, The Chase. The next day, the team continued their search for Bigfoot. But as they moved deeper into the woods, they began to feel like they were being watched. Every sound seemed amplified, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't alone. Suddenly, they heard a loud roar, followed by the sound of trees being snapped in half. Tommy's heart raced as he realized that the creature was on the move. The team started running, trying to put as much distance between themselves and Bigfoot as possible. But the creature was fast, and it wasn't long before they could hear its footsteps getting closer and closer. They burst into a clearing, and Tommy saw a cave in the distance. Without thinking, he started running towards it, with the others following close behind. As they entered the cave, they could hear the creature's footsteps getting closer and closer. They knew they had to find a way to defend themselves or they would be at the mercy of the creature. Chapter 4, The Ambush. Tommy and the rest of the team huddled in the cave, their hearts pounding with fear. They had come face to face with Bigfoot, and they knew they weren't safe yet. Suddenly, there was a loud thud outside the cave. Tommy peeked out, and saw that the creature had caught up with them. It was now just outside the cave, its massive frame blocking out the light. As the team watched in horror, the creature let out an ear-piercing scream. Tommy knew that they had to do something fast, or they would be torn apart by the creature's massive strength. With a plan in mind, the team picked up sticks and rocks, preparing to fight back against Bigfoot. Tommy knew that they had to use everything they had to take the creature down. As Bigfoot charged towards them, the team struck back with everything they had. They pelted the creature with rocks, aiming for its head and eyes. The creature let out a roar of anger, but the team didn't let up. They continued to fight, pushing the creature back and forcing it to retreat. Chapter 5, The Hideout. The team had managed to fend off Bigfoot, but they knew that they weren't out of danger yet. They needed to find a safe place to regroup and plan their next move. As they continued deeper into the woods, they stumbled upon a small cabin. It was old and run down, but it was shelter from the elements, and it was better than nothing. They cautiously approached the cabin, checking for any signs of danger. But as they entered, they found it was empty. It was as if the cabin had been abandoned for years. The team settled in, using the cabin as a base of operations. They knew they had to come up with a plan to protect themselves from Bigfoot, who was still out there, waiting for them. As they talked, Tommy couldn't help but feel like they were in over their heads. They had underestimated the creature's power, and they didn't have the resources or the equipment to take it down. But they knew that they couldn't give up. They had to find a way to survive. Chapter 6, The Sacrifice. The team spent the next few hours planning their next move. They knew that they couldn't stay in the cabin forever, but they also knew that they couldn't face Bigfoot head-on. As they talked, they realized that they needed a distraction. Something that would draw Bigfoot away from them long enough for them to make their escape. Tommy knew what had to be done. He volunteered to be the distraction, sacrificing himself to give the others a chance to get away. The team protested, but Tommy was determined. He knew that he was the only one who could pull it off. As the team prepared to leave, Tommy took one last look around the cabin. He knew that it might be the last time he saw it. With a heavy heart, he stepped out of the cabin and into the woods. He could hear the creature's footsteps getting closer and closer, and he knew that he had to act fast. He ran through the woods, leading Bigfoot away from the others. As he ran, he could hear the creature's heavy breathing behind him, and he knew that he was getting close to his end. But just as he thought all was lost, he saw a group of hunters in the distance. They had heard the commotion and had come to investigate. Tommy collapsed in relief as the hunters confronted Bigfoot, giving him time to make his escape. As he ran, he knew that he would never forget the sacrifice he had made to save his friends. Chapter 7, The Legend Continues. As the team regrouped, they knew that they had narrowly escaped with their lives. They had encountered Bigfoot, one of the most legendary creatures in the world, and they had lived to tell the tale. The team decided to leave the woods and return home, but they knew that they would never forget their encounter with Bigfoot. The legend of the creature would live on, and they would forever be haunted by the memory of its massive form and terrifying roar. Over time, the team became celebrities, as their story spread far and wide. They were interviewed by the media and featured on countless TV shows, telling their tale of survival and bravery. But even with all the attention, Tommy couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness. He knew that he had lost something in the woods, something that he could never get back. He knew that the legend of Bigfoot would continue to haunt him, a reminder of the danger that lurked in the unknown corners of the world. As he thought about the creature, he couldn't help but wonder what other mysteries lay waiting in the shadows. And he knew that one day, he might venture back into the unknown, seeking out new adventures and new dangers. For Tommy, the legend of Bigfoot was just the beginning. The world was full of secrets and wonders, waiting to be discovered. And he was ready to face them all.